All right, so let's go through this. We'll start with what's going out, Cam. So who is leaving the University of Miami in order of position?
Yeah, and we took a quick break so that I can go get my list, just because I find it easier, or people are able to track better if we go position by position. So yeah, at the quarterback position, Emory Williams has departed, and he has already signed with East Carolina, joining Ray Joseph following this path of Jake Garcia previously leaving here to go there. At running back, we had Gerard Pringle, but that was a poor decision and quickly reversed, so he is actually staying on the roster. I expect we might get another running back to
right. Yes.
Players
we are recording this Friday at 2:15, and I believe players have another 24 hours if they want to go.
I mean, almost 36. They have to the 11:59 on the 24th.
Yes, correct.
So,
yes.
Yeah. At wide receiver, JoJo Trader, the most recent entrant. It is what it is. Ray Joseph has already said going to East Carolina. Chance Robinson going to North Carolina State to play with C.J. Bailey. And Nye Carr, where's he going?
I don't know if he's signed yet.
Wake Forest.
Oh, okay. He has signed. Okay,
yeah,
there we go.
I believe, or at least stated his intent to go there. So that's 4 wide receivers and a quarterback. At tight end, Brock Schott already joined Indiana during the playoffs. He's from Leo, Indiana, went back to his home state school. Boom, done. Along the offensive line, my prediction list as I'm reading this said just depth dudes because, why name them individually? But Nino Francavilla is one who's gone. He's a 3-star dude a couple years ago. Derek Plaz from Jacksonville Mandarin. He's already signed to go to Auburn. Tommy Kinsler IV, also visiting Auburn, and might end up there as well. And I think that's that.
By the way, we'll get into it at some point, but I know that Frankenvilla was maybe a possibility to work out at center. So, but it really is a depth situation. So
yeah, that was a developmental depth guy. If it pops, it pops. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It seems that it did not. Along the defensive line, we have Dalen Russell going to Louisville. We have Dante Simpson, previously mentioned, going to Missouri. What a crazy, idiotic decision that is. And Malik Bryant also going to Missouri. Looks like he's going to stay at D end. I know that we moved him from backer to end and whatever. Artavius Jones, a 4-star from a couple of years ago, with potential and plenty of talent, but just never really curled over for him. Defensive tackle, 6'4", 310. He's looking for a home presently. And that is the list on defensive line at present. At linebacker,
Bobby Washington Jr.
Bobby Washington Jr. I was looking because I had Bryant listed at linebacker, but I mentioned him at end because he's listed at edge. Yeah, so Bobby Washington Jr. at linebacker. In the secondary, Charles Brantley is going home again to Michigan State, where he came from before he transferred here. And then Amari Wallace, the freshman from Central, also leaving. Jadis Richard played, Vanderbilt transfer played and tore his knee up. But he and Amari Wallace, but tore his knee up last year. He is leaving. And then I don't know if that's it. Hold on.
I think that's it. That's all I have.
Brantley. Oh, and then just the other one worth noting because he's technically listed in the portal because he's looking for somewhere else to go. Markeith Williams was kicked off the team in September, so he is out there as well. So yeah, players at every level of the team. Had people tweeting at me like, "Oh my God, should we be worried?" and everything. The answer is no. The timing is just different because we played the national championship game and we have this 5-day window post-championship game. And it's okay. And we're already working on bringing in the guys that we want for next year anyway.
Well, then, cool. as we wrap, before we get to the guys that are that are coming in or possibly coming in, is there anyone that is leaving? We talked about the Dante Simpson situation, who you would have rather stayed.
Brock Schott and Dante Simpson. Those are the two. I think that there are other guys who could have had a role on this team. I think that like Malik Bryant is like a 4th or 5th linebacker / edge rusher. And like he made a key play. What was it, last year on a field goal?
Yep.
But like a starring role, no. Maybe one of Kinsler or Plaz on the offensive line. Probably Kinsler because he's the bigger tackle body, 6'6", 340. And that's about it. I mean, I would have liked also personally, I was a proponent for JoJo Trader staying. I completely understand why he needed to go. I'm not ignorant. I'm not stupid. I'm not a moron. I'm not. I'm just saying I would have been here for him continuing his journey here and then trying to move forward. But, as our good friend Vishnu, he was tweeting with FIU Mike about it. When he dropped that ball at SMU, his career here was over. And it sucks. And he played after that, and he actually blocked really well and had a couple of catches.
Yeah, definitely.
But that game was his coming out party, and he was cooking. And that should have been an 83-yard touchdown.
Yep.
And hit him right there. And dropping that ball that way and tipping it up so that it gets intercepted, like that play was the end for him. And I fully understand that.
So, obviously, the reports were from Media Day where I was down at the convention center before the championship game. Barry Jackson was talking to Kevin Beard. Kevin Beard tells him, no, I just talked to him. JoJo Trader staying. But we hadn't gotten to the point of, hey, who might the University of Miami get at wide receiver in the portal, which, what comes in impacts what might go out and vice versa, all of that stuff. So people are ripping the hell out of Kevin Beard and Barry Jackson. At the time, as the circumstances were presenting themselves, it seemed like maybe he was staying. But you know what? In this world of college football, the circumstances change by the minute.
That's life. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
If you ask me right now, I am sick presently, currently, today, right now. You see me in a month. Hey, you're like, whoa. I thought that it's a situation and circumstance that can change. I mean, I know that I'm talking about my personal health versus it's the same thing. At that time, and maybe that's what JoJo said, and maybe JoJo's mind was already made up, and he just said, "Yeah, coach, and had other intentions and didn't share them fully and everything. That's all reasonable and understandable. But I just you want it to work out, but it doesn't work out for everybody. And those are the guys, as of now, who are leaving. With another, 36 hours to go. So we'll see if there's anybody else who jumps in between today.
I'm with you. I would expect at least one other name to be there from the running back room, but we shall, if not two, we shall see how that all plays out. All right, let's talk about the guys that we know are coming to the University of Miami.
Oh yeah. And
do you have this in position order? Or should I just run down my random list in no particular order?
No, we can go in no particular order.
Okay, well, there's one major. We're not going to talk about the possibilities yet. There's legal situations and other things that haven't happened yet. We'll get to that in a second. But these are the ones that I have. And I want to start with the big one because this is big. And this goes into what we talked about before about the defensive line going to be elite next year. Damon Wilson from Missouri. All reports, whether it's the professional guys like Todd McShay or the college guys or anyone else, Damon Wilson's future NFL stud. This is a guy that's going to play big time on the next level, and you're getting him to come to be coached by Jason Taylor.
Yeah, this is a guy that I've wanted for years. He's a 5-star recruit out of Venice High School, 6'4", 245-ish now. He's 230-ish coming out of high school, but this is a kid that we recruited to the bitter end several years ago. He ended up going to Georgia first, and then when they were the super duper Monstars, and then transferred over to Mizzou and had a very strong season. But yeah, this is a local guy coming back home. This is not going to go the way of Charles Brantley, where he was a local guy coming back home in a position where we thought he might play. And then, Conte Scott comes down here and, Bob's your uncle. No. This is a dude who's going to start. This is a dude who's going to be a top 15 draft pick in 2027. I mean, everything that you want at the position and more. He's the truth. And as I go back to his recruiting profile out of high school, again, 5-star on the 247 composite, number 3 edge, number 4 in the state of Florida, number 17 overall player in the country. Like, that's the kind of talent we're talking about that we were chasing. So, he's been a name that I've known for a good long time and everything. Getting him here now to continue his ascension, because he played very, very, very well last year.
Yeah,
for Missouri, first team All SEC or second team, I believe. Yeah, so you add him with Lightfoot. I mean, I know that he didn't play this season, but Hayden Lowe was a top 20 player last year, tore his knee up in the fall and redshirted. And I think Gabby Rudy put it out there. Miami can go with a 5-man defensive line front of 5 stars.
So it would be Justin Scott, Damon Wilson, Hayden Lowe, Marquise Lightfoot, and who's the 5th one? I can't come up with
one there transfer in there. No, I said it and I don't remember the 5. Darn. Hold on, I gotta scroll and find this tweet now. Shucks.
Okay. No, you're okay. You're fine.
Oh, Armando Blunt.
Oh, of course, yeah. Duh.
Yeah. So Scott, Blunt, Lightfoot, Lowe, and Wilson you could put all 5 of them dudes on the field at one time, and they're all 5 stars out of high school. And that's not even taking into account somebody like Ahmad Moten Jr., who, regardless of stars out of high school, can hoop. That's not even taking into account other dudes on this team. Third Scroggins was a 4-star. Cole McConaughey the second was a 4-star. They're more talent you can shake a stick at. But if you decided to go with a bare 5-man front, we could go, the 25-star defensive line. Bang.
It's just, I think, when I think about all the names you just reeled off, I think about your ability to have a starting 4 and then put in the next 4 that you're not going to miss much of a beat. Your depth is going to be ridiculous on the defensive line.
Right. And that's what we had this year, even, when you had guys coming in off the bench. I mean, like I said before, I know that he's gone to Missouri, but Dante Simpson, when he started getting in the middle of the season, you're like, oh, wait, that's 93, not 99.
Right.
He's basically playing like Moten as a true freshman. What? And that's not even taking into account any of the dudes in this current recruiting class who could find time as true freshmen, because we play freshmen if you're able, and anybody else we get in the transfer portal. So, yeah, but leading the way, Damon Wilson up front, that's a huge, huge get. Very excited for him.
You also got up front Jaquez Carter from Ohio State.
Oh, my God. I wanted him so bad in the 25 recruiting class. I was so mad he went there, and I'm so happy he's come back. That's a guy who was a 4-star, top 100 player in the country last year. Went to Ohio State. Now he's actually going to make the wise choice and come down here. That's another super blue chipper. You should be happy about that one, too.
He's from somewhere in the state, right?
Newberry.
Can't remember the city. Newberry, yeah. I don't know where that is, but it's in the state of Florida. I know that. So, yeah, I mean, the defensive I can't even – that room is craziness. All right. Oddly enough, Miami has recruited, again, 2 kickers in Jake Weinberg from Florida State and Jack Olson. I think he's from Northwestern.
Yep.
I don't know – is this our thing now? We're just going to take 2 kickers every year?
Why not? Take 2 and figure it out. Whatever works. We did it this year with Carter Davis and Bert Auburn. Davis won the job. He was very, very good through the majority of the season. I know that he had his struggles. I know he missed one of the championship game. But, look, throw numbers at the problem. We don't have a Borregales anymore. The Borregales kicking dynasty is concluded. So, yeah, throw 2 people at it every year. Whoever wins, and we move.
I was talking to Jake Weinberg's kicking coach Dan Levine, former Miami Hurricane, who trains guys up in Palm Beach, and has said that he is as good as you can find right now. Like he's gotten better in the work that he has put in so far. And I'll be honest with you, Cam, I watched Jake Weinberg warm up before Miami, Florida State. And this kid was nailing like big field goals from all over the place. So I'm excited about that. And Jack Olson's supposed to be good too. So I'm excited. Wide receiver. Actually, let's hold off on wide receiver for a second. Let's go safety. Omar Thornton is a guy that I think they want to come in and maybe try to somewhat replicate the Keontae Scott role.
Yeah, something like that. He's a physical safety. Another South Florida native from American Heritage, went to Boston College for 3 years, and everything. But yeah, I mean, he's a little bit bigger, more wrapped up than Keontae Scott, but a different version of that kind of star nickel position. But yeah, this is a guy who can definitely play here. He was the Broward 1M, 2M defensive player of the year in 2023. So, that works. 5'11", probably 205, 210. And if you go watch his highlights, buddy, yeah, he lays the lumber. If you're looking for somebody to plug into this defensive secondary who embodies playing with enthusiasm, swarming to the ball, and playing with violence, yeah,
he's like what, 10 pounds heavier than Keontae Scott, something like that, maybe
a little bit bigger than that, but like maybe even 15-ish. But you'll see they cut a very different profile, but physical profile. But yeah, no, he definitely fits. Very, very excited to add him, to this group and everything. And with us not losing too much, or at this point in the secondary of consequence, Jacoby Thomas is graduating, Keontae Scott, but I'm talking about the other, departures and everything. Most everybody coming back. You don't need to add too much, because if you trust your development, then guys like Jabari Antoine can step up and play in the secondary. Guys like Chris Ewald can step up, who also redshirted this year, and yada yada yada. But yeah, adding a Thornton, that's a weapon. That's a chess piece that you can add. That's going to really pay dividends. So very excited for him.
All right, let's talk about wide receiver. We got two that are definitely coming in, which is Cam Vaughn from West Virginia, 6'2" kid. So you get some size there. And then you get Vandravius Jacobs, a kid from Fort Pierce, who is coming in from South Carolina.
Yeah, and Cam Vaughn actually reuniting with a former teammate of his in Zachariah Poyser.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They played together last year, or in 2024, and they were in the same recruiting class in 2023 and redshirted at Jacksonville State. At Jacksonville State last year, 2 years ago, 48 for 803 and 5 tuds for Cam Vaughn, and then added in what he did at West Virginia. But 6'2" player with great skill at wide receiver, so you love that. And Vandrevius Jacobs, another Florida native, coming back home, and this is a kid who is a home run hitter. He's a explosive player, able to take it the distance anytime that he touches the ball. And that was the one when we signed Jacobs, that was the one where I was really like, okay, JoJo's gone. That's because JoJo's 5'11", 6 feet tall. That's the profile and player that he was supposed to be. And then we went and signed this other dude who actually has done it at a higher level here. That was the one where I was like, okay, that's going to be JoJo. JoJo's, bus ticket out of town, as it were. But yeah, both of those guys adding in, with Malachi Toney, with Joshua Moore, with Dalen Upshaw, with Samorian Wingo, the freshman, and the other Milan Paris and Vance Spafford in this class. I know that we're losing 4 dudes from the wide receiver room, but if you're looking at holistically what we're adding, at this point we're adding 5 dudes of blue chip caliber from high school and veteran performers from other college teams. That's a win for me. So we've invested the time, money, effort, and talent into these other dudes. It didn't work out. They can seek shelter elsewhere, and we're helping them do that, because if it didn't work out here, go work out somewhere else. Cool, fine. But now you're adding these 5 and potentially more? Hell yeah.
All right, so then there's the guys that are possible that we think may end up here. Let's start with the elephant in the room, the quarterback position.
Yes.
And an unbelievable, dynamic, spectacular quarterback from Duke, Darian Mensah. We know, listen, I'm not going to sit here and spend an hour going over the legalities of that situation, nor talk about the hypocrisy of Manny Diaz talking about all this other stuff when they poached him from Tulane. But I will say this. He's a great player. He can throw the rock. And I would be excited for him to be a Miami Hurricane. Now, as for the legal situation, it's literally, by the time we even get done with this segment, it could be different. They're looking for a ruling to happen quicker than his next court date in February 2nd, because right now he's allowed to be in the portal and he's allowed to visit schools, but he's not allowed to sign anywhere according to the TRO, the temporary restraining order, so that Duke has in place. So they're looking for this to all get settled much more quickly. It could happen at any moment. But Darian Mensah looks like if that all goes through, he will be a Miami Hurricane. I'm stoked.
Yeah, also stoked. I saw that Mensah and his legal team were pushing for an expedited emergency hearing today for a ruling. Yeah. Because, dude, like February 2nd, like that's just, it's unnecessary long. It's just petulant. Like at that point, like you're, like the timing of the hearing is impactful in a negative way. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's trying to get it moved up. But this is a guy who, when he announced that he was going to be leaving Tulane last year, a lot of people wanted him at Miami for this year's team.
Yeah.
Me, myself personally, said, he has the talent. I just need to see another Mango season of growth and development and performance. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it could be, I think it's there. I just think you need to polish, that up and move it forward. And then, he goes to Duke and completes 67% of his passes for almost 4,000 yards, 34 touchdowns, and 6 picks. While also running for, well, he didn't really actually run much.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't run much.
Right.
He's
67% completions, 4,000 yards, 34-6 touchdown to interception ratio. Sign me up. And I was talking with David Lake about this, with Gabby Rudia, with Chris Stock, with several other people in the recruiting spaces about this, and whatnot. They're like, yeah, like pretty much. So yeah, last year I thought maybe he needed another year, and I didn't think he was necessarily the right fit for the 2025 Miami Hurricanes. Absolutely. Right now, bring him in, let him start. And then if you're wanting fully to lean into, we've recruited these guys out of high school, 27 will be going into year 3 for Luke Nickel, going into year 2 for Darion Coleman. For next year, we don't do the portal thing. If it's a one-off, cool. But I'm perfectly fine with Miami being mercenary you at quarterback, and in this cycle with every other option going elsewhere.
Right.
Mensah would be a really good get in my
and we might get his stud wide receiver buddy in Cooper Barkate, who is as good as they get as well.
72 catches for 1,100 yards and 7 tuds. That's 5 catches for 79 a game. His number 1 receiver at Duke. Yeah. Bring that on. So that was we have 5 and might add 6, so we might add him as well. Absolutely. Sign me up, bud.
I mean, he's such a good player, and he's like a genius. Because didn't he play at like Harvard or something before? He was an Ivy Leaguer, wasn't he? Yeah, but he was a Harvard kid before he was a Duke kid. I'm loving all of this. All right, so those are 2 possibilities. Now, the other couple that are out there there's still some on. So I don't know how much you want to get into offensive linemen that might be out there that are considering LSU, Oregon, or
I do. I absolutely do. In case you're wondering, that is Jordan Seaton from Colorado. Really a knockdown drag-out fight, it seems like, between LSU and Miami here. Oregon, he did not visit Oregon. Dan Lanning went to go visit him in a different location. And I think that is kind of, follow the visits, man. It was one of the recruiting rules when I wrote that in 2018. Like, the kid didn't go to Eugene. Like, that kind of speaks volumes. It's not. I know that Miami has made a competitive offer, if not the highest offer. That's been.
It's going to be by all reports, it's going to be a $4 to $5 million offer.
That's what I was going to say. That's not. That's not true. No,
literally everything I've read. That's what it said.
I know, but from what I've heard, no, that's quarterback money. But yeah, I'm. Miami and
it's number one offensive tackle.
I know. I'm well aware. But still, even with positional value, that's ridiculous. But yeah, a huge piece of the puzzle in the portal. If Miami were to get him, obviously that would be awesome, and add another probable future top 50, if not first round draft pick at tackle. And that would give Jackson Cantwell the ability to have a mango season at right tackle before he slides over to left. But yeah, that is one of the top players still out there in the portal. And there are plenty of other players still out there in the portal. I know that there have been a lot who have made decisions, but yeah, Seaton's a very good one.
I think the other ones that might be on the radar is Nebraska defensive lineman Keanu Davis, Georgia offensive lineman Jamal Merriweather, and the kid that was from Florida State and Oregon State, safety Conrad Hussey. Some other people that are a possibility at this point.
Yeah, good old St. Thomas Aquinas, Conrad Hussey, number 24, which I remember because that was the Underwood family number, because everybody in my family has worn number 24 in all of our sports. So there are players out there, and there are going to be other names that come to the forefront. Early in the cycle last year, if we were to tell you Keontae Scott, Jacoby Thomas, and David Blay, with the other major names out there, everybody would have said, who, what? Those three dudes were starters on this team that was a play away from a national championship. So, I trust the program that we've built, and Mario Cristobal is a talent evaluator and recruiter, talent acquisition master. So, yeah, we're working on it. I already have a bunch of dudes. There are going to be more dudes coming in. Just wait.
I think we've gotten, it's quite clear that guys are going to want to come here to play for Jason Taylor, Damian Lewis, Alex Mirabal. They've seen the blueprint, right? They've seen what these assistant coaches have done with guys and how they're going to go in the first round of the NFL draft with Francis Mauigoa and Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor, and then Markel Bell, his growth, all that stuff. So I just think they're at the point where guys around the country are taking notice of what Miami can do. Absolutely. Once you get here. Talent development is huge.
I think that we've seen that even, last year for this year's team, but yeah, it's not even just like, oh, there's a 10-win or, season or blah, blah, blah. Like, you back that up with another 10-win season. You back that up in the national championship game, one possession, 40 yards, one play away from a championship. Everybody's seen it. And I've seen many people, I'm talking about the Athletic, I'm talking about 247, I'm talking on 3. People are saying, this is not like the 2025 Miami Hurricanes are not going to be the most talented version of the team under Mario Cristobal. Yep. If that's not giving you great hope as a Miami fan and great pause as anybody else fan, and it was a very talented and a very, very good team. And it was one play away from a championship, guys. So, yeah, we're going to be okay. We're going to find the dudes that we need to have here. And whether they want to come play, for whomever, the staff is very good. Whether you're looking at Etheridge and Harris in the secondary, I mean, you didn't even mention Corey Heatherman, who's a finalist for the Broyles Award and coaches the linebacker position personally. Like, like people want to be here.
Well, and look at what Mark Fletcher was able to do under Matt Merritt. Listen, Kevin Beard, if you want to be an NFL wide receiver, you have to know how to block. And I don't know that there's a wide receivers coach in the country that can teach a wide receiver how to block better than Kevin Beard, because his receivers coach when he was at Miami, and Curtis Johnson, was the best at teaching guys how to block. And go talk to Reggie Wayne and those dudes about that. So all of that stuff gets around, right? Like, who's a good coach to come? I want to get to the next level. I want to make it in the league. Who can develop me to get to the league? That all gets out there.
And look, I mean, I know that we didn't have 5 different 1,000-yard receivers, but CJ Daniels got better objectively, like performance-wise.
You talked about Keelan Marion all the time. He's just supposed to be a returner, and now all of a sudden he turned into a receiver that can do stuff. Yeah,
integral. And he had both of those catches in the last 2 pass plays in the Ole Miss game. Keelan Marion that I saw from BYU, nah, you lying. Yeah, and that's the work of Kevin Beard. Now, I know it's not what Brian Hartline had done with top 10 pick after top 10 pick after top 10 pick. Okay. I'm not saying that, but if you're trying to sit here, and be a moron and say that, Kevin Beard don't know ball and doesn't develop people, like, nah, buddy. Like, Malachi Tony got better over the course of this year.
Correct.
Even, and he's an incredible talent, but you don't get by on talent alone. Like, talent is God-given. Skill is man-made. Like, you got to work.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think the staff is really incredible, and there might have to be a change. We might have to find a new staff member. We'll talk about that and also one other big college football story on the other side. I hope you got your fill of transfer portal stuff. I'm sure there'll be more, so we'll get to it when we get to it. But we will be back right after this on the Real Ones Canes podcast. Back here on the Real Ones Canes podcast, I am the Beast, Brian London. Follow me at Miami Radio Beast. He is Cam Underwood. He is way more eloquent than I am and is able to get his words out.
Yes, I can.
And he is the managing editor at State of the U. If you don't go check out stateoftheu.com right now, you're failing yourself. It is the best place to get all of your Miami Hurricanes news and coverage. Open 24/7, 365, and free. Follow Cam online at Underwood Sports. Cam, a couple of stories to get to. Miami, it looks like they're losing their tight ends coach, Cody Woodgill. It looks like going home to Mississippi, where he's from, to go to Ole Miss. So that position will have to be replaced. A lot of people are talking about wanting either Coley or Hartley back on the staff. I don't know. I mean, yes, both good coaches. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Both great coaches, both incredible recruiters and developers. Coley has been wide receivers at Georgia and Texas A&M. Also other stops, like at Florida State back in, the early 2010s. Hartley was at Georgia as their tight ends coach. He came here and then went directly back there. They were like, yeah, no, we need you back in Athens. And so all of the tight ends that they've had recently, that's him. So that's your Darnell Washington, who beat, they beat Miami head up for recruiting. That's Brock Bowers. Yeah. That's all of those dudes. That's Todd Hartley. I mean, sign me up.
Why would he? By the way, when I said I'm not sure, it was more about Coley than it was about Hartley. I would take Hartley in a second. I just don't see why would he leave Georgia.
I mean, why did he leave Georgia the first time?
I don't know. I'm just right.
Maybe he wants a new challenge, and maybe you give him a an auxiliary title and a bump, and maybe his kids are a little bit older, and living in Coral Gables is as nice for him as it is in Athens. I don't know, but look, Miami routinely hires people up off their good jobs. So yeah, Coley is a Miami guy, like he's a Miami native and coming back here, like, oh yeah, no, I'm sold on that. Like absolutely. Another name people were saying, Ed Pata.
Excuse
me. Coming back to Miami. And then also making the note that, we know that he was more on the offensive line side of things, but Mario Cristobal also coached tight ends at Miami before, and he was an offensive lineman, and that worked out well when he did that. So just putting it out there. But, I mean, those are very good options, all three, if it were to be any of those three. And I'm sure that there are other options and names that we haven't even necessarily heard of.
Well, one thing is for sure, I'm guessing that Miami's success this year is going to be more attractive to candidates out there who are looking around and saying, you know what? Okay, time in Coral Gables, plus I get to work on that staff. Although Mario Cristobal will tell you he is not the easiest boss.
Oh, no, not at all. Yeah, no, he's a taskmaster, bro. Like, they're always on it. They were in around the country at high schools recruiting yesterday on Thursday.
Yeah.
3 days after the national championship game. You know what I mean? Like, they were in Houston. They were in Atlanta. They were, hey, look, calendar don't stop, guys. This is not, vacation time. Like, hit the road recruiting. Bye. See you. We will be back next week or whenever. We'll have a staff meeting about who you saw and what the movement of conversations were. So, I mean, between all of that, like it is, you have to be wired a certain way. You got to be a certain kind of dude to work here and to work for Mario. But look, I mean, we've gotten great coaches even before we had the super amount of success. Like Etheridge and Harris, like getting them from their good jobs. Heatherman, getting him off of his good job. Like, I mean, bro, like Damian Lewis was working in the NFL. You know what I mean? And he's coaching D tackles now. Like, we will, will and have go to get guys from their good jobs to Coral Gables. So, I'm not going to necessarily get bogged down in any of the names. If it were any of those three, Pata or Hartley or Coley, sign me up. If it's somebody else, that means that they see something else in someone else, and I'm here for it.
I'm all about it. I think they're going to attract the best candidates and make a great hire. The other story is just a general college football story. It was just announced earlier this morning. Again, we're recording this Friday afternoon, January 23rd, that it is going to remain a 12-team playoff for next season. There was talk of it being 16. There was talk of it being 24. The Big Ten and SEC got into a spat about it, but it will remain at 12 teams.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I have an opinion either. I really want it to be 16. That's just what makes sense to me. But if you add more teams to the playoff, which means there's going to be more games, you have to. We can't have like all this time in between games and the schedule and like all this stuff.
Yeah, but that's what's going to happen because next year's national championship game is not until January 25th.
Right.
So it's already moving back by 4 days next year, or 6 days. Yep. So, 12 is fine. Like, we're here with that. I'm cool with that. I think you just need to cut down all this lead time in between these games. I think it needs to be tick-tock clock every Saturday. That's when they are. And, come hell or high water, it is what it is. That's my view of it. Needs to just be every 7 days. Cool. And I know that it's a strain on the logistics of the participating teams. That's why they have people who work in the offices at these places. You have the travel coordinator, you have the, equipment coordinator. Hey, part of the job. So, and it's funny. I was talking to somebody who works at Miami before the game. The national championship graphic was done by Thanksgiving for this year for the Miami Hurricanes. You know what I mean? Like, it was before the month of December because you got to start all these things then. So it's not even like it would be at Miami or at any other program. Oh my God, it's the middle of December and now all of a sudden, fresh from scratch, we're going to try to think of how are we traveling and what are the logistics, and they've got people working on that since forever. So set it every week, run it.
Listen, forever, when I was traveling with the team for a decade, I would talk to the people that literally spent the off season going to places, checking out hotels, checking out logistics, checking out bus companies, and doing all of this, and then thinking about what possible bowl game could we go to? What are the possibilities? What are the 5 possibilities? Okay, we're going to go check out those cities. We're going to go check out all that stuff. Like, yeah, all of the stuff. I mean, it's no different than, man, like you and I both know, like in the NBA, the NHL, the NFL, Major League Baseball, like, postseason, where you're going, what town you're going to go to, like it all changes. It's all up in the air. That's why they have people that like do this for a living. So yeah, not worried about it one bit as far as the logistics go. That's kind of the one of the pluses of now being able to have like 8 billion people on staff, because you're actually paying money to have 8 billion people on staff.
Bingo. Speaking of money,
yes,
something that I clicked over to Twitter while you were giving me that response, and I saw something that just literally came down the timeline right as we're running down the time.
What did I miss? What did I miss?
The NCAA had, per Ross Dellinger, let me go back over to my Twitter. I'm going to read it to you directly. The NCAA finally approves commercial jersey patches effective August 1st, as in you can sell a jersey patch for sponsorship. A company or companies, can buy jersey patches for teams. My 2 questions to you, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, just, a quick answer. Good idea, bad idea?
Well,
good idea, bad idea?
From a revenue standpoint, great idea. From me liking it standpoint, bad idea.
Okay, cool. I can take that. Your personal feelings or whatever aside, what patch would you want to be on the Miami Hurricanes jersey? Like, who's a company that you would love to see a partnership with?
Well, selfishly, it would be Bacardi. But
okay,
is there a local South Florida company?
Okay,
and I could use a rum and a Coke Zero.
Amen.
And maybe, hey, the press box, maybe we'll get some.
Good friend of mine used to work for Bacardi for many years. Yeah. Subsidized my social life through the majority of my 20s. Do appreciate that. I can definitely get behind that.
Yeah, but Ryder has always been around the University of Miami. Okay. Is there a local company? An interesting one is Carnival. Mickey Arison, despite him going to the University of Miami, has kind of turned his back a little bit.
Indeed.
So yeah, there's a lot of interesting ones. The Moss brothers could get involved. With Moss Tech. Okay. So there's a lot of options out there.
Okay. Nice.
I can't listen. I am actually staying at the hotel that is literally, I would say 50 feet in front of the Florida Lottery headquarters in Tallahassee. So when I do win the lotto, maybe the patch will just say Brian the Beast London on it.
Oh, okay, cool. Be sure that you kick me some money. I was thinking, maybe the Florida Lottery itself could be the thing. I don't know how that would necessarily work, but you can have that. I think they brought up some really, really good options. I was thinking something tourism-y. So definitely, the Carnival Cruise Lines, Bacardi, they're headquartered in Miami and things like that. I think that there are some interesting options. Obviously, with an Adidas partnership, I know people are going to say, Nike, oh my God. You're never going to cross-promote a Adidas jersey with a Nike patch. Stop.
Look, don't forget Lennar also has UM ties, the residential home builder.
True.
Auto Nation isn't. I'm just thinking of companies that are in South Florida. Auto Nation is in South Florida.
Okay. I'm with it.
Or maybe it's like pull from one hand to go to the other. It could be a U Health patch.
I was thinking that as well. I was thinking, how do you do that? Because I was thinking, like, in my brain as you as I was just now in this live conversation. I was thinking, okay, do you put Jackson on there? I was like, no, you don't put Jackson on there, but you could put U Health, and then so like you're sponsoring yourself, or like kind of a thing, like something like that. But just wanted to bring that up. Interesting kind of a thing. So today, guys, your homework, already know.
Yes.
What company would you want to see on a commercial patch on the Miami Hurricanes football jerseys? Put it in the comments, and we're going to talk about a couple of those the next time that we come together for this show. We'll read like maybe the 5 or 10 best.
You know who's really excited about this, and I was going to mention this at the end of the show anyways, is the new Chief Revenue Officer for the University of Miami Department of Athletics. He is back to his multiple-time alma mater. He left us for a bit to go to Northwestern, where he basically got all of their funding for their new stadium. Mm-hmm. He is amazing. He has been amazing to me over the course of 25 years, and that is Jesse Marks. You may not know Jesse Marks, but Jesse Marks is an OG Miami Hurricane, has worked in every position in the athletic department, and he's coming home to be the chief revenue officer. And I guarantee you, he is counting the dollars for whatever endorsement deal they are able to sign. Him and Dan Radakovich are probably thinking about ideas right now to be able to put a corporate patch on the uniforms. All right, Cam. We've gone through a lot. People are probably dizzy from the portal stuff. There will be more. There will be more, kids. We will definitely get you next week with whatever happens with the Darren Mensah stuff and everything else. So please keep it locked right here. Don't forget to subscribe and follow wherever you're watching this. If you're listening, go to the various visual offerings from YouTube or TikTok at Real Ones Canes Podcast, and please subscribe, follow, share, like, all of that stuff, and comment. Tell Cam how sexy he sounds when he's sick.
Yeah, always a good time. But and don't forget your homework.
Yeah.
Which company for patch would you like to have on this? I
just thought of one, but it's not family friendly, so I'm not going to bring it up.
Yeah, please don't bring that one up. I didn't bring that one up either. So on behalf of Ryan Beast London, my name is Cam Underwood. It has been a pleasure to be with you on the Real Ones Cane Podcast. We will see you next time.
Peace.